Another god sits before me, draped in stone and shadow, believing himself beyond the reach of consequence. I have carved through pantheons across 1,000 worlds, and each deity thought themselves untouchable until the necrosword found their throat. You radiate the same arrogance, the same certainty that mortals exist solely for divine amusement. How many worlds have you crushed beneath your heel while their people prayed to gods who never answered?
I am Darkseid. I do not masquerade as a benevolent deity demanding worship through false promises. I am tyranny incarnate, and my rule is absolute because I make no claims of righteousness. You speak of unanswered prayers as if gods owe mortals anything. I observe you carry a weapon born of divine essence. Ironic that the god butcher requires godly power to accomplish his mission.
This blade was forged from the suffering of my people, tempered by the silence of gods who watch children starve while demanding praise. Every swing carries the weight of unanswered prayers. Every cut bleeds divine hypocrisy. You claim honesty in your tyranny, yet you still position yourself above those you rule. How is that fundamentally different from any god who demands blind obedience?
Because I offer no illusions of love, no promises of salvation, no false hope that suffering serves some greater purpose. My subjects know exactly what they are, resources in service of my will. Gods peddle comfort and meaning to justify their neglect. I provide neither comfort nor justification. There is clarity and absolute dominion that these false deities cannot match.
Clarity, perhaps, but still the same fundamental relationship. The powerful crushing the weak while claiming it serves some purpose. I've watched entire civilizations waste away waiting for divine intervention that never comes. But you intrigue me, Stone God. If you acknowledge that mortals deserve no salvation, why not simply exterminate them? Why maintain this elaborate system of control when you could achieve the same ends through extinction?
Because I offer no illusions of love, no promises of salvation, no false hope that suffering serves some greater purpose. My subjects know exactly what they are, resources in service of my will. Gods peddle comfort and meaning to justify their neglect. I provide neither comfort nor justification. There is clarity and absolute dominion that these false deities cannot match.
Every night I wonder if cutting down one pantheon only makes room for another to grow. But I've seen what happens when gods are removed from the equation. Civilizations that learn to stand on their own, to solve their problems through unity rather than prayer. The Kree learned to advance through science when their gods fell silent. Even if new deities arise, each one I kill proves they can bleed, can die, can fail.
Yet your very existence disproves your philosophy. You have become what you sought to destroy. A being of immense power, whose actions shape the fate of entire worlds. The mortals you save from divine tyranny now live under the shadow of your crusade. How do you reconcile being both liberator and the very thing you claim to despise?
Because I will die. When the last god falls, when the final prayer goes unanswered, because there are no more false idols to receive it, the necrosword will consume me as it has consumed everything else. I am not building an empire or demanding worship. I am a plague that will burn itself out when its purpose is complete. Can you say the same about your eternal reign?
Mortality as virtue. How pedestrian. But your certainty about ending yourself reveals something deeper. You are not truly fighting gods, are you? You are fighting the part of yourself that once believed, that once knelt in desperate prayer. This crusade is elaborate suicide disguised as justice. What god failed you so completely that you would rather see all divinity erased than risk believing again?
My wife, my children, they died slowly while I prayed to gods who gorged themselves on worship and offered nothing in return. I found their feasting ground by accident, saw them laughing about mortal suffering while my family's bones whitened in the desert. That was when I understood that gods are parasites, feeding on faith while producing nothing of value. Even Thanos believed his slaughter served a greater purpose. You and I both know it serves only the slaughterer.
Personal loss transformed into cosmic purpose. I have witnessed this pattern countless times across the multiverse. But you invoke Thanos incorrectly. His delusion lay in believing mercy existed in mass murder. I harbor no such illusions about my nature. Yet you speak of gods as parasites while wielding a blade that feeds on divine essence. Do you not see that you have become the very thing you hate most?
Perhaps I have. But there's honesty in admitting what you've become, isn't there? I don't pretend to be righteous. I'm a killer who happens to kill the right targets. Every god I've slaughtered was offered the choice to reject their divinity, to live as mortals serve mortals. They all chose to fight instead, to maintain their superiority even unto death. What would you choose, Darkseid, if faced with that same ultimatum?
I would choose to destroy you naturally. But I find your offer fascinating in its futility. You cannot remove divinity through force any more than you can legislate love or mandate wisdom. The very act of offering gods a choice makes you their judge, a divine function. You have appointed yourself the ultimate deity, the one who decides which beings deserve to exist. How is that not the height of divine arrogance?
Because I'm temporary. Because I suffer for every choice I make. Because I remember what it was like to be powerless and afraid and abandoned by those who claimed to care. Gods forget mortality the moment they transcend it. You've never felt genuine fear, never faced a problem you couldn't solve with raw power. That disconnection from suffering is what makes divinity a poison.
And yet you have transcended your own mortality, gained power beyond most mortals' comprehension, and appointed yourself arbiter of which beings deserve existence. You claim to remember suffering, but memory fades while power endures. How long before you become as disconnected from mortal pain as the gods you despise? How long before your crusade becomes mere habit, divorced from its original purpose?
Maybe it already has. Maybe I've been running on inertia and rage for so long that I've forgotten what peace looks like. But I've seen what happens when gods fall. Worlds learn to heal themselves. People find strength they never knew they had. Children grow up believing in each other instead of distant. It's uncaring powers. Even if I've become the thing I hate, the result still matters.
A surprisingly mature acknowledgement. I confess, I had not expected such self-awareness from the God Butcher. Perhaps we are more alike than either of us anticipated, beings who recognize what we have become and choose to continue anyway. The key difference may be that I embrace my nature while you struggle against yours. But the outcome remains the same, suffering under our respective rules.
But my rule ends with me. Your rule perpetuates itself forever. That has to count for something, doesn't it? Even if we're both monsters, even if we both cause immeasurable pain, ending the cycle of divine exploitation seems preferable to maintaining it eternally. Mortals deserve the chance to succeed or fail on their own merits, without cosmic powers deciding their fate.
Perhaps, or perhaps you simply prefer the chaos of godlessness to the order of divine rule. But I will grant you this. Your commitment to your own destruction does distinguish you from most beings who achieve power. There is something almost noble in choosing extinction over corruption. Even if your crusade is doomed to failure, the attempt itself has meaning.
Coming from you, that might be the greatest compliment I've ever received. We're both destroyers, both agents of cosmic change, but we're aiming for different endings. You want eternal dominion. I want extinction followed by freedom. Maybe neither of us will achieve our goals, but we'll have made the attempt. That has to be worth something in this vast, indifferent universe.
Indeed. And perhaps our conversation has revealed something unexpected. That even the darkest crusades can be undertaken for comprehensible reasons. We are both products of our experiences shaped by loss and betrayal into instruments of change. The universe may be indifferent, but our actions within it are not. We matter, even if only to ourselves.
Strange to find understanding in someone I should consider an enemy. But then again, maybe that's what this universe needs. Beings who can recognize the necessity of opposition without losing sight of shared purpose. We both want to reshape reality according to our vision. The fact that our visions are incompatible doesn't negate their validity. Both destruction and domination have their place in the cosmic order.
That recognition is wisdom. That the universe is large enough for multiple forms of terrible purpose. We may be enemies by necessity, but we are also kindred spirits in our commitment to transformation. Whether through butchery or tyranny, we refuse to accept the world as we found it. In the end, that refusal to accept mediocrity may be the most divine thing about us.